The Victoria line is used by over 200 million passengers a year, carried along by 47 new trains, and is the only tube line to run entirely underground. But I bet that even if you're a frequent traveller on the line, the chances are you'll not have spotted some of the more unusual things about it.
So we're going to ride the entire length of the Victoria line starting here at Walthamstow and try and find one interesting thing about all 16 stations. Let's go. So this is my favourite thing about Walthamstow station, the old which train is next indicator. It was big, it lit up, you could see it from a distance as you came down the escalator. And the modern equivalent, you can see, is having a few troubles today as there's two trains in, but I don't know which one to get.
Now you might think that all Victoria line stations look the same, but in fact they all have individual tiling motifs. Black Horse Road Station, for example, has the most obvious, with a black horse.
And if you don't like the one at platform level, then there's this big bad boy outside the station itself. I think that's life-size, isn't it?
At Seven Sisters, look out for staff getting on at the terminating platform to be taken to the nearby Northumberland Park depot. Oh, and the motif.
I don't know what they are, but it's Seven Sisters, there are 7 of them.
A quick bit of online research, though, reveals that this motif represents the 7 elm trees that were planted at the nearby Page Green, from where Seven Sisters gets its name.
If you follow me, I've always quite liked this. The hot air balloon mosaic. Another oddity is that Finsbury Park is the busiest station in terms of passengers on the underground that doesn't have any oyster barriers.
You can get all the way to the platform without touching in.
Just missed one.
At Highbury and Islington, look out on the other side of the road for the Great Northern and City Railway original station building. It opened in 1904 and lasted until 1975, but the building still stands today. And on to King's Cross, where it's not so much a thing to see, but something which you might like to know about to do.
So if you follow the official station signs of how to change to other lines, then they make you walk down this really long corridor and it takes ages to get there. Whereas if we instead go this way, it brings you down this short stairway instead, and it's much quicker.
Art on the Underground are currently installing 270 labyrinths all around the London Underground network this year. But at one station, there's already one.
I'm at Warren Street, and obviously there's a maze, or Warren, on the wall. Or is it a labyrinth?
But while you're here, there's something else to look out for as well.
My favourite thing about Warren Street is that if you pop over to the Northern Line platforms, you'll find out that it once wasn't called Warren Street, but in 1907, it was called Euston Road instead.
And on to Green Park, where at the end of the Victoria Line corridor is the Piccadilly Line corridor.
At the Piccadilly end, there are more dark blue tiles and only the odd silver tile to represent the Jubilee Line. By the time you reach the other end of the corridor...
Now the corridor's quite long, so we'll do the whole speed it up routine again. And we're there.
The number of blue tiles have diminished, and the number of silver tiles to represent the Jubilee Line have increased. Piccadilly to Jubilee.
Just by one of the exits of the tube at Victoria Station itself is a gorgeous old railway map from the London, Brighton and South Coast Railway. Worth checking out.
Pimlico is the least used station on the Victoria Line. I'm guessing you've probably not been here. But what I like about this is that if you come to the Rampayne Street entrance, there's London Underground Roundel sort of burnt into the concrete on the floor here. And if you look up, you'll see where it's coming from. Now, some of the tile mosaic patterns on Victoria Line stations are hard to work out what they are. And at a first glance, you might not guess this one either at Stockwell. But take a closer look and you can see it's a swan.
A very obvious reference to the popular Swan pub across the road from the station.
So we've got to the southern end of the Victoria Line. We've come to Brixton, where if you come outside and look at the station building, you can't fail to miss the largest London Underground roundel on the whole tube network. Quite a fitting end to our journey.